Do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Good afternoon. We come to you with some breaking news. A verdict now reached in the Schoharie limo trial. You just heard it live right here. Nauman Hussein found guilty on 20 counts of manslaughter.
We're just learning from Judge Peter Lynch just now when he will be sentenced. We have people in the courtroom. Dan Levy is in the courtroom. Stella Porter's in the courtroom. We have a producer in the courtroom as well. They'll be out momentarily to let us know when sentencing date is. But Nauman Hussein found guilty of all 20 counts of manslaughter, and he will be sentenced at a date to be determined to a maximum of 5 to 15 years in prison. That's the maximum sentence he could face. He could face as little as probation,
right.
But however, that's unlikely given the circumstances that led us here, the circumstances that led us to a trial.
We're just hearing a sentencing date has been set for May 31st. That news just coming in from inside the courtroom at 9:30 in the morning. Nauman Hussein being placed in handcuffs right now. A live look at what is going on inside the courtroom on your screen right now. Being placed in handcuffs to be led away 4.5 years after this horrific crash, the limousine crash just a couple of miles away from where we are standing right now that took the lives of those 20 people.
Dan Levy has been in the courtroom listening in as the verdict came in, and Dan, we heard the scream, if you will, that was let out when the jury foreperson announced guilty.
Just such a release of pent-up emotion. If we can imagine what it's been like for these families for the last 4.5 years to deal with this. And I should also add that as the jurors were dismissed and left the courtroom, they stood up and gave them a round of applause. I've never seen anything like that before in a court case. Also sitting in front of me was Nauman Hussein's brother and girlfriend. They were, very emotional, as you might imagine, in tears. We know that manslaughter carries a maximum penalty of 15 years, and everybody is beginning to grasp the reality of what just happened. I would imagine Judge Lynch might be considered a hero to you. If not for him ripping up that initial plea bargain, this would not have happened.
Right. Exactly. I'm very thankful for Judge Lynch. When my husband called and told me that the probation had been overturned, I pulled over, my arms went up in the air. Praise God!
And joining us here right now, Mr. and Mrs. Cushing, and I know, Kevin, we've been speaking with you throughout the years, and this moment right now, just describe how you're feeling.
It's exhilarating. I mean, we had relatively low expectations because this 4.5 years has been filled with disappointment. But today, we have a reason to be really appreciative of the judge. I can't thank the judge enough for really redoing the plea and having a court trial. And we got a conviction to a charge that we thought was appropriate, and he's convicted. So we couldn't be more pleased about that.
So then he said afterwards that landscape has changed.
Pause right there, Stella. I apologize. The defense attorney, Lee Kinlan, is speaking right now. Let's listen in.
I'm heartbroken. Over the course of the past 4.5 years, I've developed a relationship, either a close personal relationship with my client and his family, his extended family overseas. But I've also existed in an outer layer with all the victims' families, and I really, now at the end of this chapter of the case, I'm just heartbroken for everybody involved.
Just to see you smile and to see that happiness on your face is beautiful, and the connection that all of the families have formed through something so horrible, but you all have been there for each other inside that courtroom.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone has been there for one another. We text each other back and forth if someone cannot be there. Amanda Rivenberg's mother was ill this morning, and she texted me and she could not be there, and I know she wants to be there, especially today. So we're there for one another. We're there for Amanda, always.
Jill, thank you very much for speaking with us on this day of joy, finally, on some level.
And congratulations on the legacy of Matthew, because you have advocated on his behalf for greater safety for limousines, and that's been successful. So.
We have. Thank you, and thank you so much for being there for us today.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
Jill Richardson Perez taking time out of her day now, time out from a celebration, as much as you can celebrate on this day. We thank you.
Thank you very much. We will wrap up our coverage here for right now. We will see you with the very latest, starting live at 4 from Schoharie.